Governor Newsom responds to the takeover of San Francisco-based First Republic Bank. He praised state and federal partnerships for taking quick action.
And cops are actively searching for a man who has been stabbing and killing people in the town of Davis over the past few days. 2 people have died, and a third victim who was stabbed this morning is in critical condition. Housing is a huge issue for Sonoma County, and local organization Generation Housing is examining the numbers and evidence surrounding our housing crisis, as well as offering a comprehensive report with potential housing solutions. They'll host a meeting at the LBC this Thursday. Joining us in the KSRO studio is Ramon Mares. He is the Community Engagement Coordinator for Generation Housing. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So tell us, how did the first summit go at the end of March?
It was great. I mean, it was very depressing, of course, but we need to put a face on how we suffer in order to keep a roof over our families' heads. And then we can start working towards solutions. Once that we own what's happening and we can see what the face again of the pain and the struggle, then we can really move forward and be more humane to one another.
Along those lines, Ramon, in the report, you see that Sonoma County households are struggling with the cost of housing, and that means they have to cut other places, which affects all of the community. They got to cut in transportation, food, and medicine. So it all kind of comes together with housing.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Now, the second meeting is coming up on Thursday from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. What kind of topics will you be focusing on?
Well, we're going to be talking about zoning. We're going to be talking about infill. We're going to be talking about solutions. Mostly going to be financial ordinances, etc. How can we make housing faster, easier, and cheaper?
Key things you have to do, you're going to have people talking about transportation, you're going to talk about it as an economic engine, but one of the main things that I read this report is you need collaboration to get stuff done to build homes.
Exactly, that's really important to have all the key players start working with one another, start working together, and in that way streamline the way to produce more housing.
And we are seeing, we're physically seeing some bigger apartment buildings and condos and things like that going up in Sonoma County and in Santa Rosa. Are these going to be part of the solution, and what needs to happen to make sure that a portion of these are actually affordable for Sonoma County's poorest people?
Absolutely, and that's a little bit complicated because everything that we see being built right now, everything is all at once. It happened because a lot of things got easier after the pandemic and after the fires. There were a few ways that whether it was tax credits or permits or whatever, and all of that has a finite time when it's going to stop. We stopped producing homes in 2008, and then we have no production until now. So everybody's seeing all these apartments going up. But then when they're finished, then what's going to happen? We're going to go back to the same where we were before, which is barely going to make a drop in the bucket type of an effect.
One of the talks you're going to be having today is called Funding Solutions on the 2024 ballot. What do we need to know about what's coming down our pipe as far as what we're going to vote for housing?
Well, those are the conversations that we're going to have, and that's what's important for people to be there. So I'm here to invite people to come. That's going to be this Thursday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Please go to generationhousing.org for registration, get your ticket. If you cannot afford your ticket, but you want to be there, please send an email to Ramon at generationhousing.org. We'll figure out a way. We'll put you to work. Maybe you can be a volunteer, and you can still come to the summit.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the panel guests who will be at this summit?
Absolutely. We have at least 6 people right now that can think. Rami Cortez, who's going to be working, coming from Urban Infill in San Diego. We're going to have Matthew Perry from Parent Zones Company. He has lots of experience on changing the zonings, and he used to be also part of the city council of his town. We have Noni Ramos from the Housing Trust Silicon Valley talking about finance. We have Jita Rao, who just got an award last week from the Nonprofit Housing Association, and she's actually from Enterprise Community Partners. We have Peter Rumble here from our Santa Rosa Chamber of Commerce, and we have Sarah Sims, who's finance manager for the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco.
So Thursday's meeting focuses on what we need to do to get more housing. You also had a meeting last month to kind of talk about what the situation is. What stuck out from you about the stats that you guys looked and found in your recent report?
Well, yeah, the report's been embargoed. I can talk a lot about it right now, but I can tell you that we're going to be unveiling it. A lot of work has been done. There's going to be, we're going to be talking about the shortage of the past year, and we're going to analyze the data, understand our deficit, and then what are the consequences of our housing policies.
So how much help can we and should we expect from the federal and state governments as opposed to what we can do here in Sonoma County?
That's a great question. So I think that is the importance of working together, because working together, for example, joining the pro-housing designation is so important so we can get access to some of this money that is locked right there in the state. But also by working together, you can unlock more upstream resources that can mean more housing, more infrastructure, and more of the things that we need.
All right, well, the event is coming up on this Thursday, 1 to 6 p.m. It's at the LBC in Santa Rosa. You will have access at that event to the housing report?
That is correct.
Okay, very good. And will people be able to also find it on your website after the event?
That is correct. It will be on the website as well.
Okay. Ramon, thank you so much for taking the time to come in today. We really appreciate it.
Hope I see everybody.
Yeah, it's a huge issue for Sonoma County. It impacts all of us, whether we are personally without housing or not. It's a community issue that we all need to address as a community. Ramon Meraz is the Community Engagement Coordinator for Generation Housing. KSRO News Time is 8:25. And we'll go right to the roadways for a traffic update. Here is Paul Maxwell.
Thanks, Michelle. CHP on the scene. Santa Rosa South 101 at Corby. A 4-vehicle accident off to the shoulder. Quite the backup extending to around River Road. Northbound lanes slow from just after Golf Course. Continue in big stretches up to just past Steel. Very slow both directions of Highway 12 between 101 and around Mission. South 101, that is also slow going in Marin from Roland, continuing down to just past Lucky Drive. Also, brake lights both directions of Highway 12, just north of Boys Hot Springs to just south of Sonoma Plaza. West 37 slow, the Mare Island Bridge out to 121. Your next update at 8:35. Now with Sonoma County's most accurate, most dependable forecast, here's Daniel Trucios.
Thank you, Paul. High of 60 degrees just for today, 55 along the coast, as we do see overcast conditions with a bit of rain, very light, and maybe a thunderstorm and some hail as well this afternoon, maybe. Possible rain also for tonight and light rain for tomorrow, if any. Temperatures will be in the mid-60s for the rest of the week, Thursday through Sunday. Expect partly cloudy skies, but no rain in the forecast.
49 in Kenwood, 50 in Healdsburg, and 48 in Santa Rosa. KSRO News Time is 8:26.
Agricultural community farmers markets bring you fresh produce, meat, and dairy each week year-round.
Saturday and Wednesday mornings, 8:30 to 1, the tradition continues at the Santa Rosa Community Farmers Market in Farmers Lane Plaza. Coyote Family Farm has bunches of spring flowers alongside their crisp salad greens. Fidel's Gourmet Growers has a great variety of fresh and local mushrooms. The farmers market is filled with spring blooms, including gorgeous tulips from Eddie's Farm. Jam has strawberries and blueberries. Santa Rosa Seafood offers the freshest fish around, available every Saturday, as well as specialty salads, cioppino, clam chowder, and local oysters from Marin. Jamaican Jerk has hot prepared Jamaican food for lunch or dinner. The Italian Corner offers items like mushroom and sausage risotto, cashew Alfredo sauce, chicken, lemon, ricotta, ravioli, and Dungeness crab ravioli. Java's Pizza makes everything from scratch and bakes her pizza to order in a wood-fired oven. Expanded curbside shopping service available. Info online at ilovefarmersmarket.org.
Sonoma County, get your free Ream Root heat pump water heater today. Yes, I said free water heater. In most cases, energy rebates and tax incentives pay for the complete installation. As a Sonoma Clean Power contractor, John Owen Services will be your best choice. Lower utility bills and reduce California's carbon footprint with an efficient electric Ream Root heat pump water heater. Call now, 855-456-2906, or visit our website at johnowenservices.com.
It's tax season, and if you own a business, you know exactly how taxing this season can be. Time to contact the certified professionals at Numerical in Rohnert Park. They can help you file your taxes, and because they're local and offer bookkeeping and payroll expertise year-round, you can be sure they'll handle your numbers without treating you like one.
We're Darlene
And Ruben,
Sandoval, owners of Numerical.
call us at 707-236-8255.
238-2281.
238-2281. We're your one-stop shop.
On Mother's Day weekend, Saturday, May 13th from 11:30 a.m. to 3, the Church of the Roses at 2500 Patio Court in Santa Rosa presents their Spring Fling Luncheon. The theme is Around the World in 80 Hats, in memory of Marjorie Donaldson, who bequeathed her exquisite collection of hats to the church. The Hattery of Sonoma County has spruced up the hats for sale. A photo booth with hats for all to try will be part of the fun. Treat your mom and friends to a delicious lunch. A fashion show featuring hats with outfits to match from the Bird's Nest clothing store in Montgomery Village. Wine tasting, an art show, and a silent auction. All the funds raised go to community outreach programs. Tickets in advance go for $20 or $25 at the door. VIP tables for 8 are $200. Saturday, May 13th from 11:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's the Spring Fling fundraiser at Church of the Roses in Santa Rosa, across from Montgomery Village. For tickets or info, call 707-542-4272. The Food and Drug Administration has approved gene-edited pigs from Washington State University for human consumption.
Researchers used CRISPR gene editing technology to create 5 pigs with similar DNA. They were made into German-style sausages. The goal of the test was to prove gene-edited animals could get FDA approval for consumption. Selective breeding is one way of modifying an animal's DNA. Researchers say CRISPR technology does it faster and can create animals with more desirable traits for improved food production. Brad Ford, NBC News Radio.
Local news is next. Right now, top world and national stories from ABC.
Sonoma County's News Talk, KSRO, on FM at 103.5 in Santa Rosa and Windsor, and now at 96.9 in Petaluma.
Members of the Writers Guild on strike for the first time since 2007. It comes after the union and studios failed to reach a deal over pay for streaming platforms, which has changed the landscape of writing for movie scripts and TV productions. Dominic Patton is senior editor for Deadline.
Writers now are no longer paid as much as they used to be. They're paid for shorter series, and they're not seeing any of the residuals that you used to see back in the old days.
The Justice Department announcing 300 arrests worldwide and millions of drugs seized in what it says is the largest international drug trafficker operation to date, targeting opioids and fentanyl on the dark web. In Texas, the manhunt continues for suspected gunman Francisco Oropesa. Police say he killed 5 people inside a home outside Houston over the weekend. An American team member hoping to scale Mount Everest has died at Camp 2. A statement by IMG says the man, who was not identified, was 69 years old and did not die while climbing. Michelle Franzen, ABC.
From ABC News, tech trends with the Chevy Bolt ending production this year. Electric vehicle buyers have even fewer options when it comes to low-cost, long-range cars. But an answer could come from overseas.
What's really going to be interesting to see in the next few years is the Chinese market.
Freelance auto journalist Patrick George says Chinese cars have been getting more attention lately. The recently unveiled BYD Seagull, for example, is an EV with 250 miles of range and an $11,000 price tag.
Their EV technology is advancing rapidly. They are coming out with tons of new electric cars at all kinds of price points, including the very, very affordable range.
And while the American market doesn't get any Chinese brands at the moment, he says that's likely to change.
I think that country's auto industry will come to ours eventually. And if they do, they may have a giant opening to seize the more affordable compact market.
With Tech Trends, I'm Mike Dabowski, ABC News.
For what it's worth, I'm Sherry Preston.
This is a problem that has been building for decades in our country.
Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy talking with ABC News about loneliness and the very real toll it can take on someone.
The health effects are profound. We're talking about increases in risks of depression, anxiety, and suicide, but also increased risks of heart disease and dementia, stroke, and the increase in the risk of premature death that we see with loneliness and isolation, with social disconnection, is on par with what we see with smoking daily.
And that's why he's issuing a health advisory, pointing to research that shows nearly half of adults experience loneliness, and the numbers are worse among kids. Some things you can do right now to help.
Just taking 15 minutes a day to reach out to someone we care about, picking up the phone when someone calls, even if it's for 10 seconds to say, let me call you back, because hearing their voice makes a difference. Putting our phones and devices aside when we are connecting in person with others.
And he says service, helping others, can also be a powerful antidote. For what it's worth. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Live and local from our studios in Santa Rosa, this is Sonoma County's Morning News on Marconi Award-winning KSRO.
Good morning. It is 8:33. Today is Tuesday, May 2nd. I'm Michelle Marquis.
And I'm Larry Olson. Dan Tricios, our producer, web editor, Jeff Woodworth.
Man, I'm a little worried about the Writers Guild of America strike and how it's going to impact all the late-night shows. My goodness. Especially over at The Daily Show, where the regular correspondents have been having a chance to get their week to host, and as they're trying to find a replacement for Trevor Noah. Dulce Sloan just started on Monday, and now, dang, one day, that's all she gets.
So I'm a little confused. Like, are all the late nights not going to, while the strike's going on, they're not going to do shows?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to, because their writers are part of the guild, and so they won't be doing it. It's crazy.
I feel like the last time we did this, like Colbert or the host, like wrote our own. Like
did they?
I feel like they might have. Maybe I'm crazy.
I think it was semi-written and like improv, a mix of it, if I may interject.
Okay. Did they do like, they can't do their like monologues. That's out, because writers help with that.
Yeah.
But they could do interviews, right?
Something like that.
I guess they could do interviews unless writers are involved in that. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens, but it's going to cause some chaos for sure.
Yeah.
And if
hopefully not wreck our shows.
I know, don't wreck our shows, man. We love our shows. All right, let's look at our top stories this morning. Protesters gathered outside of Petaluma Valley Hospital as the facility closed its birthing center on Monday.
Governor Newsom responds to the takeover of San Francisco-based First Republic Bank.
And cops are actively searching for a man who's been stabbing and killing people in the town of Davis over the past few days.
Coming up in sports in all California Western Conference semifinals, Warriors and Lakers. Game 1 tonight at 7 o'clock, right here on KSRO.
It is 8:35 now at KSRO, and here is your traffic update with Paul Maxwell.
Thanks, Michelle. Big delays for 101 in Santa Rosa, not helping South 101 at Corby. A 4-vehicle accident off to the shoulder. CHP on the scene. No indication any lanes are blocked, but it is a solid backup to Airport Boulevard. Northbound lane slow at Roner Park from Golf Course continuing up to just before River Road. Also have slow on both directions of Highway 12 between 101 and Mission. Highway 12 heavy, Boys Hot Springs to Sonoma Plaza, and South 101 slow in Marin from just before Roland continuing down to just past Lucky Drive. Your next update at 8:45. Now with Sonoma County's most accurate, most dependable forecast, here's Daniel Tricios.
Man, James Corden got out at the right time, didn't he? Yeah, a bit of rain and maybe some thunderstorms this afternoon with a possible hail. High of 60 degrees, 55 along the coast. Wind speeds will be light. Possible rain for tonight, low 46. Light rain or showers for tomorrow, if any. Temperatures will be in the mid-60s. Mid-60s the rest of the week. Partly cloudy skies and no rain, though, in the forecast after tomorrow.
Yeah, Deadline is reporting that late-night shows will shut down immediately after the Writers Guild strike is called. So that's it. We're not having late-night shows until this thing is over. 50 degrees in Roner Park, 48 in Santa Rosa. Traffic on the 5, weather 6 times an hour. Mornings on KSRO, where the news time is 8:37. Protesters are lashing out at Petaluma Valley Hospital and its owner, Providence, after the decision to close its family birth center. About 50 people gathered outside of the hospital to protest on Monday night. Providence bought the hospital from Petaluma Healthcare District in 2020. The purchase agreement stated that the birthing center had to stay open until at least 2025. Many of the protesters held signs criticizing Providence for backing out of this agreement. Monday was the birth center's final day of operation.
California is launching a new operation to catch fentanyl trafficking rings in San Francisco. Ika Magahi's reports.
More California Highway Patrol officers and California National Guard personnel will be patrolling the city streets, gathering intel on drug rings and possible cartels who bring fentanyl into the Bay Area.
This is different. This is program services, second chances, opportunities, but also accountability. And what's been missing has been accountability, and that's what this is all about.
Mayor London Breed says it's an effort to strengthen the fight against the state's fentanyl crisis. The patrols will focus on neighborhoods with the highest rates of overdose deaths, like the Tenderloin and south of Market. But homeless advocates say the patrols would disproportionately affect people of color. Overdose deaths in San Francisco jumped by 40% between January and March. Ethan McGowan, NBC News Radio.
A shelter-in-place order was in effect after reports of a third stabbing in less than a week in the town of Davis. An alert to shelter-in-place was issued at about 12:30 this morning after a stabbing that happened in the area of 2nd and L Street. The order was lifted just after 3 a.m., although the suspect is still at large. The suspect was last seen running westbound on 3rd Street. The victim is in critical condition. Last Thursday, a 50-year-old man was stabbed to death in Davis's Central Park on Saturday night. A 20-year-old man who was a UC Davis student was